Hello, good evening. Life is gradually returning to normal for forces families in northern Germany after a major civil emergency sparked by the release of a cloud of toxic chemicals. Hundreds of German firefighters tackled the incident at an industrial plant owned by the food producers Kraft, less than a mile from Fallingbostel station. It was sparked after chemicals were mistakenly mixed in a cleaning tank, creating a highly explosive and toxic gas. Thousands of people had to be evacuated from their homes, including forces families. Annie Hairsign has been talking to those who were affected.
A major German civil emergency right on the doorstep of a British base, which could have been critical and left thousands of people forced out of their homes for more than 24 hours. It's very much business as usual here today in Bad Fallingbostel, with traffic flowing freely on the A7 right outside the Kraft factory. But yesterday was a totally different situation, with the whole area evacuated and shut down as the emergency services tried to contain the situation. A police escort through the empty streets of St Barbara's Barracks, Fallingbostel town in a state of shutdown. Emergency services set up a crisis centre just 500 metres from the Kraft factory. More than 700 volunteer and specialist fire personnel from as far afield as Hamburg and Hanover were on standby in case the hazardous materials became unstable.
It became very clear how bad it was sometime yesterday when things started to get a little bit critical with the chemical incident. However, despite it being a small unit, we've got very, very strict procedures set in place. So the minute the alert went out, more or less everybody was put on to minutes' notice to move. It wasn't so much the case leave being cancelled, but everybody was fully aware of what they needed to do, and within a couple of hours we had loads of people down here.
Some families did end up on camp beds in welfare centres, single accommodation blocks or with friends.
We just got told to evacuate the flat, and so obviously we left just with what we had, which was like nothing, just the kids, and we just walked out. So we've got no clean clothes, no wash kit, and then we didn't expect it to last.
There was a chaos of where we were going to sleep. Have I got enough nappies? Have I got anything? And I had to bring my dogs up with me because there was no way I was leaving them there. So they managed to sleep in the block with me. But it was just chaos, horrible. No clothes, no shower, no nothing.
The situation was critical for more than 24 hours, but Fallingbostel Station's housing and welfare teams immediately put their major incident plan into place to evacuate identified homes and cordon off parts of camp. It proved a great success, with praise for the community spirit, which was also shown.
It was through Facebook that we got so many volunteers offering to house families who, in areas which were not affected by the spill, actually worked marvellously. So we managed to house the majority of people with families.
So business as usual today, both on camp and at the Kraft factory, but people here are counting their blessings. Joining me now is the commanding officer of the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Bartholomew. Johnny, tell me exactly how much involvement had your soldiers in this particular incident?
Yeah, well, it was clearly right on our boundaries, and ourselves as the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards and all the other regiments around here were affected because the Kraft factory is literally right next to our own barracks.
I don't think many people realise, but you've just actually come back from Bathurst in Canada, and many of the other soldiers here in Fallingbostel are actually away.
Yeah, we were on Prairie Thunder 3. Prairie Thunder 4 is going on at the moment. We've got one whole squadron, our C squadron, still operating over there, and lots of temporary staff. So yeah, it's fair to say we have people all over the place, and families, some with husbands at home and some without.
So how did this major incident plan actually kick in?
Well, we got to hear about it pretty soon after it took place from our German friends, literally just down within Fallingbostel itself. And at that stage, we weren't sure the extent of it. Clearly, what ended up is that we had to take a number of people out of their own houses, wives, children and the like, to move to safer areas, just in case anything was to go even further wrong.
So where did you actually house everyone then?
Well, we had contingency plans throughout the whole place. I personally had to put up 2 families and 13 people in my house. Clearly the community spirit here is such that we all get together and help out as best we can. And if that's not possible, then we had the gym and various other transit accommodation where we could put people into. Also 7 Armoured Brigade up at Hona. We're also working up other plans in case we had to take the whole of this barracks and move it up to Hona if it went badly wrong.
Now, exactly how well did this plan actually swing into place? Because obviously you plan for these things, but until a disaster actually happens, you never know that if the plan actually works.
Yeah, I mean, we planned these things, and also operations in Bosnia, Kosovo, Iraq, Afghanistan and the like. We have to do operations when there are crises. We sort of thrive in these sort of things. And we all get together and try to help out. Clearly we have a functioning chain of command down from division, brigade and to all of the units here, so it makes it a lot easier to do the communications upwards and downwards and sideways. Clearly the thing that we don't normally practice is getting all the wives and children involved as well, so those added frictions actually made it in the end quite an enjoyable experience. But for many of the families here, clearly if it had gone on for more than 24 hours, as it did do, it would have been a bit of a pain.